Hello, welcome to another review. Today we're looking at the Umidigi A7 Pro. So before I continue the review, let me thank some people who subscribed yesterday. Pokemon Collector, thank you for subscribing. Also Alpha Series 2020, thank you for commenting. So we also got I believe around 5, but I haven't received your notification. Anyway, we are looking at the Umidigi A7 Pro. So if you've been watching the reviews for a period of time, you know that I reviewed the Umidigi A5 Pro, and it was one of the best devices that I have ever seen at that specific price range. It was around $100, and it's about 1 year later, and they have come up with the Umidigi A7 Pro. So let's look at the devices. I'll share my opinion with the previous device that I had, and also its comparison to this one. So when I got the Umidigi A5 Pro, the main thing that was appealing to me was the display. You see, most phones under that price range, you usually get like 720 display, but for the Umidigi A5 Pro, got you a full HD plus of around 2280 by 1080p. So actually the screen was quite bright, and it's displayed at more than full HD. So looking at the specifications, they have even improved the display aspect. They are having a 2340 by 1080p megapixel screen, which is like 1000 less to reach 4K, that's a very high display screen. I must say it's almost like 1000 pixels more than the previous generation, even more. So I'm expecting the Umidigi A7 Pro to be screen to be quite better than the previous generation. Also for the camera, you see we have 3 different cameras. The previous one used to have a 16 megapixel camera as the main one. Then the other 2, we had a wide angle camera and a smaller camera. So we're going to look at that also, and they seem to be retaining the 4GB RAM, though they are upgrading from LPDDR3 RAM to LPDDR4X RAM, so which will make the phone to feel a bit more snappy. And for the internal storage, we had 32GB, which was still more than you get at the other phones within the same price range. They are choosing to put 64 or 128GB internal storage on their new Umidigi A7 Pro. So another thing the only disadvantage that I saw on this phone was that it had a micro USB, and I think Umidigi have listened to the feedback of most of its customers. Most people didn't like this USB, the old USB. Now they are having a USB Type-C, which will make the phone to charge a bit more faster, and will also facilitate faster transfer of data. So lastly, it's going to have the Android 10, which you should expect if you're buying a phone on 2020. Yeah, so it's going to come with dark mode if that's what you want. For the Antutu benchmark, it had a benchmark of around 92,514. I also did the benchmark, and it was averagely around that range. So they are upgrading us to the 122,547 in the Antutu benchmark. Okay, so this is the trailer that Umidigi released. From what I can see is that it's going to have Can I go back a little? I didn't see the camera specifications. I guess I can. Okay, so let's look at the real specifications of the device. It's only having a 16 megapixel ultra wide camera, if I'm not wrong. So the cameras almost remain the same, because the last one we had a 16 megapixel camera, which seems to be the same, and it's having a 10-watt charger, which is still the same as the A5 Pro, and the CPU is going to be Helio P23, which is still the same. Umidigi 71 MP2, I think this is also the same GPU and CPU. Okay, so the camera, as I said, is the same. The ultra wide angle camera, I think it's a bit larger. For the last one, it was around 8 megapixel there. So another thing that I didn't like about this phone is that it was recording at 30 fps, and they're still having the 30 fps. It might be, you see, in phone under $200 you usually get below 30 fps, but I was thinking maybe they can try to improve on this one and give out 60 fps. So a rear mounted fingerprint unlock, I think that one will be the same position, but you can still find out. Yeah, it's still the same position. It has a back glass as the Umidigi A5 Pro, but the light seems to be a bit larger, so that might make a difference in the photo quality. So dark mode, they didn't include dark mode in the previous. They said that it's good for capturing under ultra low lights, but because of Windows 10, it's going to have dark mode. So 5G Wi-Fi. Okay, it's a bit same to the previous generation. The only thing that I've seen is different is the charging. It's having a Type C. The display is a bit better, and maybe the camera is more updated, but it's still having a 16 megapixel one. Even the previous gen had the same 10-watt charger, so it's not a very big jump. So do I recommend previous Umidigi A5 Pro buyers to buy this phone again? I'm not sure. Maybe you can try. You can try with at least the Umidigi F2 or Umidigi X, because they are around the same price point. Yeah, the Umidigi F2, let's just look at it. Yeah, so if you have an Umidigi A5 Pro and you want another phone, I I recommend that you get this one because you get a 48 megapixel back camera at only $179. So if the other one launches at around it will only cost $500 more, $50 more, then you can be able to upgrade to the Umidigi F2, which will get more bigger battery, bigger everything bigger, and also it will be having OLED panel if I'm not wrong. Yeah, I think the screen is OLED, and a higher charging rate. Yeah, so if you want to buy the Umidigi A7 Pro, it's nice, but only if you have never owned any Umidigi. If you don't own the Umidigi A5 Pro, if you own the A3 Pro or an older device, you can upgrade. But for the A5 Pro members, if you want to upgrade, just get $50 more and you buy the Umidigi F2, because also this one is Android 10 and it's having almost everything better. Yeah, so that's all for today. I really appreciate that you have liked this video and subscribe to the channel. Maybe I'll give you a shout out in the next video. Thank you for doing so.